Hey, what's up? It's Alex. Let's look at the intonations in each sentence in the connected reading video about a crowded place that I've been. Let's take a look. When I think of a crowded place, so remember this is the first section of a sentence. It's called a clause, and the clauses are marked in a sentence usually by commas. We usually go up with our voices at the end of a clause before the end of a sentence. When I think of a crowded place, so we're going up with our voices there. When I think of a crowded place, and we're stressing I, because the interviewer or whoever is talking to us has asked, what do you think? Or what do you think of when you think of a crowded place? And so we're contrasting that you, even if they didn't use that word, with the word I. When I think of a crowded place, think of is not that important for the meaning of this sentence, because it's answering a question. What crowded place do you think of? Describe a crowded place. So think is not that important. Crowded place is answering the question directly. And of, those are just function words, so they get de-stressed. When I think of a crowded place, the first image that comes to mind, this part is a great example of de-stressing function words. The, duh. The first image that comes to mind, we're rising our voices again. Go up with your voice again on mind because we're not done with the sentence, is the central train station in Milan. Is the central train station in Milan. So when we have a two-noun phrase, usually the first noun, here train, is a higher pitch than the second noun, station. Central train station in Milan. And so station ended on kind of a lower tone. In needs to transition between that lower tone and Milan, which is a stressed word in the sentence because it's important. It's where the train station was, so we stress it, in Milan. Then we go down with our voices at the end of the sentence. When I think of a crowded place, the first image that comes to mind is the central train station in Milan. I went there in high school with my family. I, in, with my, these are all function words, and the meaning here is went there, high school, family, right? If you only hear those words, you understand what the sentence probably means. So those are the meaning words in the sentence. And it was the. All of those sounds kind of get connected into one lower tone chunk. And it was the first time I'd ever been. First time I'd ever been to a big European train station. Now here, train station is the stressed part at the end of the sentence. So train station. We still have a higher tone on train compared to station, but it's a falling tone here. Train station. European rises to meet that falling tone before going back down. A big European train station. And it was the first time I'd ever been to a big European train station. I went there in high school with my family, and it was the first time I'd ever been to a big European train station. I was shocked by how many people there were. I was shocked. So was here is such a short word, and I wrote it here as an intermediate place between low I and high shocked. I was shocked. You could also say it as I was, both in a low tone. I was shocked, or you could have it as a rising tone like that. Both are fine. I was shocked. I was shocked by how many people there were. How many people there were. So stay even on how many people there were. And then we kind of dip down. How many people there were. We're going up again with were to show we're not done talking yet. There were in such an enormous space. Such an enormous space. Now we're done talking, or we're done with that sentence at space. So we go down with kind of a falling tone, and so everything else kind of matches with the same rolling intonation. There were in such an enormous space. Such an enormous space. It felt crowded and well organized at the same time. So I said just now we were done with this sentence. It's really just done with one section of a sentence, and I've written a dash here to show that we're connecting two complete sentences into one longer breath, one longer idea. This is really common in spoken English, to just keep talking and connect sentences together. Sometimes, when you're doing that, the sentences will follow the same rules of intonation as if they were shorter sentences. It felt crowded and well organized at the same time. Crowded and well organized, we have two adjectives here connected with and when we have that, they're usually both spoken with kind of a high tone, and usually there's another dipping or rolling intonation there. It felt crowded and well organized at the same time. And we rise on same to meet time as we go down there in pitch. So we go up to get to the beginning of time, same time. I was shocked by how many people there were in such an enormous space. It felt crowded and well organized at the same time. I also want to talk about the rhythm a little bit here. Crowded and well organized. I'm stretching out crowded because it's the most important thing about how I feel about this space, right? It felt crowded. It's a crowded space. So I'm stressing it by lengthening that vowel. It felt crowded, and by rising my voice there, I'm letting you know I'm going to say another adjective. And well organized. Crowded and well organized at the same time.
整体练习一遍.
When I think of a crowded place, the first image that comes to mind is the central train station in Milan. I went there in high school with my family, and it was the first time I'd ever been to a big European train station. I was shocked by how many people there were in such an enormous space. It felt crowded and well organized at the same time.